Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing well. This side Priya Bhatia. And in this specific video, we will be starting our journey of understanding the Gini index part, which is a measure of impurity in decision tree. It is by default, if you can see, I will show you the documentation as well. It's a by default measure, which via which whenever you're calling any decision tree from sklearn, via which this particular node decision making will be done, where what is the root node, what is the next internal node will be there, how the complete mathematical intuition will be done. I will try to showcase you via one example where I will be taking one simple data set which contains only two features, that is class and gender, and it's a classification task where we will be having either a person will stay in hostel or not, with the help of which you will be able to understand the complete maths behind Gini part. And without wasting any time, now let's try to understand the main session, where we will try to focus that how the complete maths is going on in terms of creating any decision tree. So now let's try to understand the mathematical intuition behind this Gini index part, where if you can see on my left hand side, I have some data points available with me. So if we can count it out, there are, I think, 14 data points we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14, right? So in total, we will be having 14 data points. And I hope you can clearly see that we will be having feature F1 as class, feature F2 as gender. And this is something which you can say is a target column available with us, where either a person or a student, you can say, will stay in a hostel or not, depending upon his or her class and gender, right? Now, we want to create a decision tree of this particular data set, let's suppose. And on the basis of that, maybe in future, I want to see that if, let's say, a student is having class 8, and if, let's say, the gender is male, so what is the final result? What is the prediction? What is the probability that a student will stay in a hostel or not? Means whether the output will be yes or the output will be no, given by the model which we will train on our decision tree, right? So basically we need to create a decision tree, or we need to understand that how this model will be created all in all. What's the mathematical idea with the help of which we will be able to understand that which particular node will become the root node, which particular node will become the, I would say, internal node. Now here you can see there are only two features which are competing, and that's the major reason why I have taken this example, because this dataset is very, very simple, right? We just have class and gender with us. So here you can clearly understand that we will be having, let's say initially, let's suppose that we will be having class as the main root node. So in that case, how many number of unique classes we have? Either the person will belong to class 8 or 9 or 10 or 11. I think in total we will be having 4 classes. So depending upon that, how basically with the help of this Gini index, or how basically with the help of this, I would say, impurity measure. So Gini index is nothing but it's one of the impurity measure, you can say, in a decision tree. So basically, I would say the mathematical idea would be that lower the value of this Gini index, lower the value of this Gini index, we will try to see that how can we calculate that. But obviously lower the value of Gini index, and it indicates that that specific feature is lowest in terms of impurity. So in terms of impurity, that is lowest, it means that particular feature is having a more credibility in order to become that root node. So lower the value of Gini index means that particular feature is having a higher priority, right? Why is that so? Because in that case, that specific feature is more in terms of purity, right? More in terms of purity, because you are saying lower value of Gini index, it means that lower value of impurity, it means more purity is there. It means we need to prioritize that feature as a higher priority in order to create a root node or the next internal node and so on. So I hope this part is pretty much clear to everyone. Now the question would be that how can we be able to evaluate this Gini index value, right? That's the next question which we have to understand. So in that scenario, we will be having 4 different classes, right? 8, 9, 10 and 11. So what we will do is we will try to define our data into 4 classes. Let's try to define that. So here we will be having 4 classes, 8, 9, 10 and 11. Makes sense? Now in these specific classes, what we will do is we will try to check the parameter of staying in hostel, right? So what I want to do is I want to evaluate what is the Gini index value for a class feature. So this is what we want to evaluate. And in the second step, you will observe that we will try to evaluate the Gini index for a value of gender. Now, whichever Gini index value will be lower, that will be the root node for that particular tree, right? So let's try to do and understand how we can evaluate that. Now, with respect to the class number 8, how many yes are there? How many yes are there? These are the steps which I'm trying to convey to you with the help of this numerical example. So class 8 yes are 1, you can see, right? Class 8 yes is 2, and class 8 there are in total I believe 3 classes are there, 3 records are there, and out of which 2 are yes and 1 is no, which we can clearly see. So if I'll ask you what is the probability of yes and what is the probability of no, given that a learner will belong to class 8, so the answer will be very straightforward. I think you can clearly say to me it will be 2 by 3 and 1 by 3 considering the class 8, right? Now the question is why I'm trying to evaluate this. Because the way to evaluate this Gini index is 1 minus, so maybe this is overall which we need to evaluate, but let's say if I want to evaluate what is the Gini value specifically for a class belonging to 8, so the formula will be 1 minus summation of I is equals to 1 till C, means the number of classes that you have, the kind of a classification problem that you are solving, probability of I whole square. So what will happen is, let's say you are trying to evaluate for specifically class 8. So what you will do is you will say 1 minus, what is the probability for yes? Because you have 2 classes, right? So you have to see what is the probability for yes. It is 2 by 3. You will try to apply a whole square minus what is the probability of no? It is 1 by 3, right? So you will try to again apply 1 by 3 here and we'll do a square of that. So it is 1 minus summation of pi square, where I belongs to 1 to the number of classes we have. In general, in this specific case, we are talking about 2 classes. So we will be having 2 by 3 for the probability of yes, 1 by 3 for the probability of no. So what we are doing is we are trying to do the addition of that. And if you will try to solve this, you will be able to get the Gini value for class 8 is 1 minus, you can say 4 by 9 minus 1 by 9. So you can just evaluate 9 minus 5 is 4. I think 4 by 9 is the correct answer. So this is the Gini value for class equals to 8, which we will be easily able to get here, right? Now same thing you have to do to evaluate the Gini value for class equals to 9, for class equals to 10, for class equals to 11. So I hope that the way to evaluate that or the formula to evaluate the Gini is pretty much clear to everyone, right? So let's try to do the same thing now. For class equals to 9, let's focus on that kind of a data where we are focusing on the class equals to 9 and yes number of records. So 1, okay, then 2, okay, then I think in total again we will be having 3 records of 9. You can just try at your end, maybe because I'm doing a live recording and there might be some calculation mistake, but I think you can just check it out once again. But anyhow, I think the logical part is clear. What I'm trying to see here is that with respect to 9 class, how many yes are there and how many no's are there? And I can clearly see 2 yes are there and 1 no is there. So what is the probability of yes? It is nothing but is equals to again 2 by 3. What is the probability of no? It is again 1 by 3. So because the probability is same, so obviously the Gini value will also be same. So the Gini value for, I would say, Gini index value for, we can say, class 8 which we have done is 4 by 9. And because the probability of class 9 is also same, so the answer will be same, which is 4 by 9 again. Makes sense? Now let's move to the class number 10. In the class number 10, let's try to ask the same question. With respect to class 10, how many yes are there? So you can clearly see only single yes is there and 3 no's are there. 1, then 2, then 3. So what we can see is in this specific case, only single yes is there and 3 no's are there, right? So what is the probability of yes? Again, it is 1 by 4. What is the probability of no? Again, it is 3 by 4. So this is specifically a Gini for the class value 10, which is nothing but you can evaluate that Gini value for the class is equals to 10. This is what we want to evaluate. So in that case, it will be 1 minus, again, what is the probability of yes? It will be 1 by 4 whole square minus, what is the probability of no? It will be 3 by 4 whole square. So it is nothing but 1 minus 1 divided by 16 minus 9 divided by 16. So it will be 6 divided by 16. Or in other words, you can say it will be equals to 3 by 8, if I'm not wrong. 16 minus 1 minus 9, 16 minus 10. I think 3 by 8 is the correct answer, if I'm not wrong, right? So in this case, what we have done is we will be able to get the Gini value as 3 by 8 for the class equals to 10, right? Now, next, let's try to see for the class value as 11, what is the number of yes and no are there? How many yes and no are there? So when the class is 11, in that case, the number of yes is, let's see it again, 11 yes, 11 yes, and 11 yes. So number of yes is 3 and number of no's are single 1. So in this case, again, what is the probability of yes? If I'll ask from you, it will be 3 by 4. What is the probability of no? If I'll ask from you, it will be 1 by 4. Makes sense? So this is how basically we will be able to evaluate the probability of yes and no. So 3 by 4 and 1 by 4. So in this specific case, if I'll ask you the same question, what is the Gini value for class 11? So anyhow, the probability of yes and no is interchangeable as comparable to the value available in the class equals to 10. So the answer will almost remain same. It will be 1 minus 3 by 4 whole square minus 1 by 4 whole square. So if you will do the calculation, you will get the answer as 6 by 16 only, which in terms of further division, you can write it as again 3 by 8. So I think we can write this as a final value. So now I have a Gini index value for individual classes, right? What I want is, I want for overall class, what is the Gini value? Because I want for a specific feature F1, which is class, right? What is the Gini value? So in that case, what we will do is, we will try to see how many number of records we have in total. So if you will just count it out, how many number of records we have? So in this case, few minutes back only, I have just tried to count it down. And the number of records are 14, right? So here we will be having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. So in this case, if you will try to evaluate the value of a Gini for a class, right? So for the class number 8, total number of records are 3. 3 divided by 14. And what is the Gini value specific to that class 8? It will be 4 by 9. Makes sense? So what I'm trying to do here is, now I am trying to combine all the values which I have just now evaluated, right? For 8, for 9, for 10 and for 11. So again, same question you have to ask. With respect to class 9, how many number of total records are there? It will be 3. So again, you will say 3 by 14. Why 14? Because total you have 14 only. And into what is the Gini value for 9? Again, you have to ask the same question. For this class 10, how many number of records are there? 4 out of 14 into what is the value of individual class? It will be 3 by 8. Plus, again you have to ask 4 by 14 into what is the Gini index value for a class 11? It will be again 3 by 8. So this is the overall value for a feature F1, Gini index value I would say. So what we have done, we have first of all tried to evaluate for individual classes. Once we have done that, after that we have tried to see that what is the individual probability of each class. For example, for class 8, how many records are there belonging to class 8? It is 3 out of total, which is 14, into what is the individual Gini value, which is 4 by 9. Again, please do this calculation. We have done the same task for every particular record we have. And I think the number which you will be able to get after doing the calculation is 0.404. You can try at your end. But I think this is approximately which you will be able to get as a Gini index value. You can just verify it once at your end as well, but this is what you will be able to get that. And this is how basically we will be able to evaluate the Gini index. So very important parameter as a measure of impurity. What we have done, we have tried to use the formula as 1 minus summation of P of I squared, where I belongs to the number of classes that we have. For example, in this case, we are trying to solve a classification problem, that too binary. So we have only 2 classes. We have tried to evaluate with the help of that formula individual different classes that we have, what is the Gini index value. And after that, because we want for a whole feature F1, we have combined all these things together, right? If you just count the number of records, 3 plus 3 is 6, 6 plus 4 is 10, 6 plus 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 4 is 10, plus 4 is 14. So you can see out of 14 records, what is the distribution of each class? That is what we have done as a part of a probability, right? So this is how basically we will be able to evaluate the Gini value for a class. But still, this is a class part, right? We don't know whether a gender might contain a more than that Gini index value or it might contain a smaller value. So now what we will do as a second step is we will try to evaluate the Gini for a gender as a whole feature, that what is the next optimal value for a gender part. So what we will do, as per the gender, now we will design a new table. So how we will design that? Now we know, again, when we are talking about gender, we have two separate entities for a gender. One can be male, another could be female, right? One could be male, another could be female. Now again, we will check this parameter of stay in hostel, and we will check that when a gender is male, how many number of people are saying yes. When the gender is male, how many of them are saying no? Again, same thing we will try to determine for this and this stuff, so that we will be able to evaluate the probability of yes plus the probability of no. So again, we have to fill this table entirely. So let's try to see that. Male and yes, how many of them are there? Male and yes. So let's try to see this. Male and yes. So 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, and then 5. How many no's are there? 1, then 2, then 3, right? So 5 yes and 3 no's. 5 yes, 3 no's. So what is the probability? It will be definitely 5 by 8. Probability of no is 3 by 8. Similarly, you have to evaluate for a female part as well. So again, same question. How many female and yes are there? Female and yes. So let's see that. Female and yes, 1, then 2, then 3, right? 3 records are there. And I would say no's are 1, 2, again, it will be 3. So it means 3 yes and 3 no, if I'm not wrong. 3 yes and 3 no's. So the probability will come out to be 3 by 6 and 3 by 6, which you can write it as 1 by 2 as well, right? Now, what is the Gini value for a male? What is the Gini value for specifically male feature, male gender? So it will be nothing but 1 minus 5 by 8 whole square minus 3 by 8 whole square. So we will try to evaluate that. Similarly, we can try to see what is the Gini value for a female category of gender that we have, which is 1 minus 3 by 6, or you can say 1 by 2 whole square minus 1 by 2 whole square. So if you will try to evaluate this, this will come out to be 0.468 and this number will come out to be 0.5. You can just verify this calculation. I have already done it before recording, so that it won't take much time, but you can just re-verify it. If there is some mistake, please forgive me for that part, because I'm not focusing more on the calculation per se. I just want to showcase you how the conceptual or mathematical understanding of Gini part will work. Okay. So now in this particular scenario, we will be able to evaluate what is the Gini index parameter with the help of the formula. For the male per se, it will be 0.468, and for the female per se, which will come out to be 0.5. Makes sense? Now, again, the same question. Now you can tell me, just pause the video and do let me know, how will I able to evaluate for a complete feature F2? What is the Gini value? Same thing. Check the probability. So you know how many total number of records are there corresponding to male? It will be summation of yes or no. It will be equals to 8 number of records, right? So what we can do here is we will say 8 divided by total records are number of records are 14 into what is the Gini value for this male part? It will be 0.468 plus number of records for female is 6 divided by 14 into 0.5. So if you just calculate this number, you will come out to be, it will come out to be 0.482. You can just re-verify it again. Now you can see that we are getting the Gini value for a class feature as 0.404 and for a gender feature as 0.482. So out of these two features, which is class and gender, what is minimum? The minimum value is class. It means that this is more pure feature as comparable to the gender feature, right? See, lower the Gini, better the probability to create that as a part of a root node. So in this specific case, I will go for a class. So what I will do, I will say that in my decision tree, when the decision tree will be created, the class will become my specific root node. Okay, the class will become my specific root node. In that specific class, we have 8, 9, 10 and 11. right? In this case, we will be having 4 separate classes, 8, 9, 10 and 11. Now in this specific case, further what will happen? On the basis of that, we will divide our data with respect to gender and stay in hostel. For example, if you talk about 8, so we will left with this particular record, this specific record, right? This specific record. So we will be having in total how many number of records belonging to 8? It is 3 records, right? And all these 3 records belongs to female. So if you can see, we will be having a table which will look like this. So we will be having 3 records and our table will look like this. 8, 8, 8, right? Which is a class. Gender is 2 times, it is I think female, and all the times female only. Perfect. So all the times females are there. And in that specific case, the 2 times result is yes, only 1 time the result is no. Now see, this is the scenario. Similarly, you can try to create further tables for 9 class, for 10 class and for 11 class, right? Now the question is how the further decision tree will look like, because here we just have only 2 features, right? Now in this case, we just have a single option which is of female. It means that further there is a sub classification of internal node where we just have a single gender which is female, because we don't have a specific record for male. Female will be there. Now if let's say there is any student which will come into picture, and in future let's say I'm saying I want to do the prediction of let's say 8 and female, I don't know whether the result should be yes or no. So what is the highest probability? For yes, the probability will be 2 by 3, and for no, the probability will be 1 by 3. It means high chances will be that we will go for the final result as yes. Why? Because if a person belongs to 8th class and having a gender female, right? This is a class category which we already have subdivided. This is a gender, and this is a final classification task where we are saying that whether a person will stay in hostel or not. So in this case, the chances of staying in hostel is quite high as comparable to the person who will not stay in hostel. This is how basically the classification will be done. So you can see overall it's a probability only. So further the subcategory will be done on the basis of whether the gender is male or female, and depending upon the probability task, whichever person or whichever category will be having a highest probability, that will be the final result given by the model. If let's say probability is almost similar, which is 1 by 2, 1 by 2 in both the cases, in that case randomly it will try to give you the result, sometimes yes and sometimes no. So I hope that you will be able to get a picture in a very clear manner now. You can ask me one more question, that Priya, what if we will be having more than 2 features? So in that case, again, after class, whatever be the pending features we have, for example, let's say you will be having 8 features and let's say F2 is the root. After that, remaining F1, F3, F4, F5, F6, F7, F8, for this same Gini process will be evaluated, and out of these 7 features, whichever is having a lower Gini value will be the next among the complete features that we have. Okay, so this is how basically the complete idea of creating a decision tree will be done. Now this is one of the way by which you can say a decision tree will be created, and by default if you will refer the documentation of this specific decision tree, right? If I'll just try to show you the documentation of a decision tree, so you will be able to observe that by default the process is Gini only, if I'm not wrong. So let me just try to showcase you this thing. Regression task, as of now I'm not going in depth. So classification, right? So here, if I'll just try to show you, so can you see this tree? I'll try to anyhow in the upcoming sessions will, go through with this how creation will happen. But in this documentation, you can clearly refer that. If I'll just open my Epic pen and just try to showcase you what I'm trying to convey here. This is Gini, right? This is Gini. So by default, you will be able to observe that Gini is the parameter which will be there whenever you are trying to create any decision tree for any specific feature. But you can change it if you want. You can try to change it to entropy. What is that? We will try to cover up that part in our upcoming session. Entropy and information gain. Again, it's a very crucial step. One of the widely asked interview question is that at what point of time we should go for Gini, and at what point of time we should go for entropy as a impurity measure, and what is the major difference between these two. So once in the upcoming session you will get the clear understanding of entropy, then I'll try to create a dedicated video for these two differences part per se, and via the proper plotting representation I'll try to showcase you the differences, so that in future you will never forget these two concepts in a decision tree, because these are the, I would say, main players of decision tree, and without which you won't be able to answer any of the interview questions, without which you won't be able to understand the further concepts of random forest as well. So please make sure you will be able to understand the complete understanding of this Gini index, whatever things I have covered up till so far, with the help of this example. So now I hope that you will be able to get the clear-cut idea about how decision tree is done. In the upcoming part of the video, as I told you, we will be focusing on the entropy measure and information gain measure. We will try to see the same data set, but now the impurity measure will get changed, and the mathematical idea will also get changed. So please stay tuned, and I'll see you all in the upcoming video.